Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aviana. This is Aviana's Ascension, and today we are doing an energy update. I do these once a week. Today is January 5th, but whenever you find this is perfect for you. And if this is your first time viewing me, welcome. I'm so happy to have you part of my little soul family. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so intuitively I just grab whatever decks spirit guides me to grab, and today we're going to start off with the Angel Answers deck. Excited to see what that's going to tell us. And then we have the Modern Witch. And we're going to close it out with Wisdom of the Shadow. So you all know I love working with the shadow. I love doing shadow work. That is a big part of my healing and my reading style, is helping people, embody and accept these versions of themselves, so that way there's no more self-sabotage, right? Because we're not victims to our situations. We use them as lessons and learn from them and grow. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing today. As I was like kind of getting ready for everything, I just kept hearing the People's Champ, right? So it made me think of Paul Wall. He's the People's Champ, right? Made me think of the song Girls, and if you don't know, how's it go? Like, smile for me, daddy, what you looking at? I want to see your grill. You want to see my what? Yeah, your grill. Yeah, your grill. Whole roll diamonds and another row gold. So maybe some of you guys like that song. Maybe you're thinking about getting a grill. If you are, that's fierce. Okay, we just had a few cards kind of slip out. So let's get started. Okay. And of course, this is a general reading, so just take what feels right for you, leave the rest behind. And if you would like any more from me or want to know more about me, want to book a personal reading, healing ceremony, I have all the information down in the description box below. Just scroll down. There's my social media, my website, and go to my website if you want to sign up for my newsletter. Great way to get some bonus material, right? All that good stuff. But enough of that. Let's get into it. Okay, yeah. We have the Three of Swords, Justice, Seven of Pentacles, the Devil. Starting off strong. Okay. So I'm going to shuffle up the cards and everything and really get into it. But yeah, I feel like we are working on healing from some sort of painful heartbreak, disappointment. And maybe this has been something that's happened in the past, but it's been kind of lingering over you. I will say something that I've been really focusing on the past couple of days is forgiveness. And sometimes when we can't forgive another person, maybe it's because we struggle to forgive ourselves, right? A lot of people think like, well, I would never do that. Okay, but if you were to do that, would you forgive yourself? Do you allow yourself to give yourself grace when you do act out of character, or you don't show up how to the standard that you hold yourself to? Because we all fall. But how do you handle that? Right? So I feel like we're working on patience. We're working on having a more balanced approach rather than fully like shaming ourselves or someone else. But there could have also been like a very toxic tie. And a lot of the times when we sever those ties, those can be the hardest to let go of. But we're growing, we're balancing ourselves, we're focusing on what feels right for us. Okay, let's get into it, Spirit. See, yeah, the People's Champ. It's like a situation where, maybe a lot of people were kind of giving you advice or saying, you need to maybe get away from this person, or maybe you need to strive for more, or, just having that support. And I feel like now you're finally getting out of a situation, or you're moving past your doubt and fear. You're healing from something. And while it's taken the time for you to get here, you're finally like being the catalyst for the change rather than waiting for the external world to match you. Okay. So I've been shuffling these cards, but I said we were starting with the Angel Answers deck. So let's get the Angel Answers deck together. All right, angels, let's see. What do we need to talk to the people about? Most important messages, please and thank you. Yeah, and like with the girl song, like I think we are moving beyond some materialistic things. Like maybe at one point you really cared about like impressing people, being flashy. And hey, I'm not saying that you can't have material things and still be a spiritual person, like I have my makeup done, I've got jewelry on, You know what I mean? But it's about understanding that those things don't define you. And I think saying like, okay, I'm the people's champ. It matters how I give back. It matters how I show up for my people. Okay. I'm just getting into it. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Let's get some messages for the people, please and thank you. Start us off, Spirit. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Okay. This is definitely a time for healing, a time for definitely rebalancing. We have wait and not the right time. Okay, so maybe I should turn on a lamp or two. Oh, that's not even plugged in. Okay. Anyways, with wait and not the right time, it feels like maybe there's something that you've really been trying to manifest, or maybe something like maybe you're trying to make a big decision and deciding when is the right time to act or make a move towards something. Spirit's saying hold on. Not saying it's not going to happen, but hold on, because we do have recovery, right? So this could be recovery in a million ways. This could be physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. There's something that still is needing to be ironed out. So Spirit doesn't want you to rush because, and I think we talked about this a bit in the last reading, whenever you're rushing, then you're not allowing divine orchestration to take place, okay? Because if there's something, not correct within or without, right, physically or internally, externally, internally, then rushing towards something, it's just going to have you self-sabotage when you get there, right? Like, for example, say you have just gotten some sort of surgery, but you want to go to the gym, okay? You can't rush that recovery, because then you'll hurt yourself even more. Then you'll really not be able to go into the gym, right? So I think a lot of the times it's easier for us with the physical stuff because we physically can't do something. But I think we should care about our mental well-being, our spiritual, emotional, just as much. You know what I mean? And it's not to say that you let your emotions dictate you, but it's about noticing like, there's something there. There's something that I need to learn more about myself. There's a version of me there that I need to work on, that I need to sit with. So instead of like pushing that version of me away or pretending like everything's okay and just, soldiering on, I'm going to sit down and really get to know this part of myself. And we have it's up to you. So I like this because it's really saying, there is a moment of pause, there is a moment of hesitation, not even hesitation, but really just a moment of pause of collecting yourself. And Spirit is saying, how long this takes is up to you. It's not something that you can skip or go around. You have to go through it. But if you are, diligent about it and have that discipline with it, and allow yourself the time to journal, to meditate, to get to know this part of you, to go seek some spiritual help, counseling, whatever this could be, then you'll be able to get through it. But it's not something you can work around. And it is something that's going to help you be ready for this next stage in your life. And we do have abundance. We have communicate clearly, remain positive, be assertive, perfect timing, forgiveness. See, I was just talking about forgiveness. So yeah, Spirit's letting you know, like, yes, this is all going to work out perfectly for you, but there's some forgiveness that's needing to be had here, whether that's for yourself or for someone else. And I will say, like I said earlier, a lot of the times we don't forgive someone else because if we had done that, we wouldn't forgive ourselves. And it's not to say that, you're better than someone because you wouldn't have done something, but it's like, if you can't have that grace and compassion for yourself, it's going to make things harder for you, right? So allow yourself to forgive yourself, to forgive another, allow yourself for not making better decisions or choosing better people or better environments because you didn't know any better. But now you do. And you got to understand, if you hadn't gone through those things, you wouldn't have learned this. So extend that same grace and compassion to past versions of you, present you, future you, and the people that helped you learn that lesson. And with be assertive and communicate clearly, yeah, I feel like there's definitely some shadow work that's needing to be done. And sometimes the shadows can show up as other people, right? Other people can trigger you into recognizing these parts of you, or kind of awakening that version of you that's, maybe been subtly sabotaging or keeping you stuck in a cycle, but now it's like kind of at the forefront. So, take that mask off and allow yourself to really be real about what's going on there and explore that. Because, baby, abundance and remain positive. Something is cooking and brewing. So, consider this a gift. Like the fact that it came out now, before you got where you wanted to be, before the abundance came in, before that success, that goal was met. Because you don't want to have everything you've desired and then kind of squander it because you weren't emotionally or physically or mentally or spiritually ready. You know what I mean? Lots of blessings in disguise. That was kind of a little, okay, that's fine. A little, All right, fierce. Okay, so let's get into the tarot. Bottom of the deck is your overall energy. Yeah, the Page of Swords. Yeah, there's a level of hesitation. There is a need to look deeper at something. And this could be some sort of inner child wound or some part of you that you have not dealt with. Because showing up as a page can either represent a child or it can represent an area in life where you're not as experienced. And the swords are all about your thought process, the mental, clarity, communication. So maybe it has something to do with those aspects of you. Maybe there's been something on your mind. Maybe there's something you said. Maybe there's a goal or something that you've been really wanting to move towards, but you've been hesitating. There's a reason for that. It's not for you to judge yourself or critique yourself or someone else, but it's for you to really take a look and say, why am I scared? Okay. We have the Empress, the Seven of Wands. So I feel like this represents your abundance with the Empress, Taurus energy there. And with the Seven of Wands, it's like, you're very protective of your success, your energy, your abundance. But there could also be a part of you that feels like you have to prove yourself, or feels like someone's going to take it from you if you don't hurry up and get to it or something. It feels like there's a lack of trust or faith in regards to someone's birthright of abundance. Okay? Yeah. It's like I'm hearing there's a goddess within you. Like, don't question it. We have the Three of Cups, the Moon card. There could be a part of you that feels maybe insecure around certain people, certain groups of people. Maybe your goals and dreams, you get nervous about sharing them with others. Maybe you're like, I don't want to jinx it, or I don't want anyone to judge me or think I'm stupid or something. Who cares if people think you're stupid? We have the Chariot, the Nine of Swords, the Lovers, the Six of Wands, the Four of Cups. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's big dreams, big goals, big ambition here. Someone's really wanting to follow their heart, follow what feels right for them. Someone wants success, but there's a big part of you that questions it, that doubts it, that focuses on the negative too much, or focuses, I was just listening to something the other day and it was like, don't focus on how far you still have to go. Focus on what you've been accomplishing, because the brain will naturally show you why something won't work, why something doesn't make sense. So you have to keep reinstilling in your brain, like, no, this is what works for me. This is what makes me happy. I'm going to focus on this. Because eventually your brain will get on the same program as you, but you have to train it to do so. So don't focus on, the peak, but focus on the climb. It's a climb. Miley Cyrus. It always blows my mind that she was so young and she sang that song. Such a good song. Love that song. Okay. All right, let's get messages for the people spirit. Please and thank you. All right, okay. Okay, we have the Knight of Wands and the Seven of Pentacles. So again, there's like that Seven of Pentacles being patient. You got to be patient. Yes, okay. Yeah, there's definitely a part of you that wants to be, maybe a little impulsive or overly ambitious. It's not to say that something's not going to come true for you, but you've got to be patient. Okay, you got to let it grow as it's meant to. You cannot rush this process. That's where the trust has to come in. It's not like if you take 10 years to do this, it's still going to come true for you. There is no timer or deadline you have to meet when it comes to this. So don't convince yourself that there is, because that's just going to make you make decisions that don't make sense. Understand that you're cooking, you're brewing, right? We're not rushing cakes to be baked, because if we do, then they're not cooked all the way. I don't want that. I don't want a runny cake. You know what I mean? Don't bring a runny cake to the party. Bring a fully baked, fully iced, beautiful cake. And understand that that's what you're creating right now. So for everyone that's trying to rush you, for the part of you that's trying to rush you, say, hey, I'm baking right now. I'm baking a delicious cake. You cannot rush this. You know what I'm saying? We can't rush beauty, okay? All right. Tell us more about the Seven of Pentacles. Oh, okay. See, yeah. The Moon card, okay. Cancer energy, Pisces energy, and we just had the full moon in Cancer on January 3rd. So I think maybe for a lot of us, this energy of like wanting to rush or questioning the security of our future. Oh, it's one of the cats. I have like 4 or 5 cats that hang around my house. Don't know why. Maybe I'm just a vibe. Maybe they're my little familiars. But I just saw one of them walking up. I should put out little treats for them. But I also feel like that's a slippery slope. I don't know. Anyways. But yeah, this is like some sort of wound, some sort of doubt, some sort of fear, illusion that you have to hurry up and rush and hurry up and be somewhere. And it's just like, take your time. You know what I mean? Take your time. Let yourself cook. See, yeah, you think if I'm not doing it at a certain time, if I'm not, if I don't meet this deadline, if I'm not doing this by this time, I'm not going to make it. And it's like, chill. And listen, I totally get that because I have my own business and I would love to just have my business be my full-time job. But I'm trusting in divine timing. But I'm also showing up every day and doing little things every day to where it's like, okay, let me check off these little goals. And then one day I look around and I'm there. You know what I mean? So kind of like fill up that space between the big goal and what you're doing now. Because something's unfolding and you just have to trust in that. And also know that like a part of that unfolding is healing the parts of you that can't hold space for what it is that you want, right? Maybe do some nervous system meditations and healing so your body can be calm as you're building, because these beautiful goals and abundance, if you can't hold that, it's not going to come your way. Think of it as like a cup of tea that's really full. You're going to walk very carefully with it. You're going to make sure you don't spill it. That's what your nervous system needs to be on. And if it's not on that energy and you're just like, you know what I mean? We gotta heal that. We have to be in recovery mode. Okay. All right, tell me more about the Moon and the Knight of Wands. See, I'm just hearing SpongeBob, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. I love that energy. I do. But we have the Two of Swords, the Six of Wands, the Three of Wands. So, okay. Obviously with the wands, like there's a lot of passion, a lot of excitement, a lot of eagerness with this. Okay, definitely with the wands. You really like your heart is like, yes, let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. But there's a part of you, Two of Swords, that's like, blocking this. That's feeling guarded. That's feeling a little scared. Like, I don't know if it's like a fear of something not coming true or if it's just like, I just want this to come true. Like, I want to be there. Like, I think that might be more of the energy. Like, not necessarily, I don't think I'm worthy or I'm scared or I feel like I have to prove myself. But I think it's like, you feel like you have to prove to yourself, not anyone else, that you're going to make it. But it's like, why do you feel like you have to prove it? Like, why don't you already know what's going to unfold no matter how long it takes? I think that's where that's where the line of questioning needs to be. Because we have the Eight of Swords. So there's an aspect of being in your head about this or feeling stuck or anxious or something. It might have to do with some sort of inner child healing work here. Yeah. Yeah, it's like you need to free the inner child. Let the child have fun with the process. I feel like you could be being too stern with yourself or too like micromanaging of the process. You have to let it unfold naturally. Okay, tell me more about the moon and the Two of Swords. Let's just keep building on that. Let's dig into the energy with that, please and thank you. Okay, we have the Death card, Scorpio energy, and the Emperor. Yeah. So I think the masculine energy needs to kind of take a step back and kind of relax a bit. You don't have to be on 10 every day. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to be super intense with how this unfolds. I think it's just you need to loosen the reins a bit. Having fun with the process, following your heart with how you want to approach it does not mean you're being lazy or you're not doing your best. You have to give yourself more grace, more compassion, for sure. Okay, this is resonating for me, I'll tell you what. So this makes me think of, like as I work on my business, I will say like there are moments whenever I just want to sit in my bed and make my newsletter, right? And then there's like a little voice in my head that's like, well, you're not supposed to do that. And it's like, why? Why not? You know what I mean? I can allow myself to relax and be chill and also type up a newsletter. I don't have to sit at my desk, especially when the sun comes through this window and there are videos where y'all can see it. I'm just like, like I get hot, so I'm going to go sit down. That's okay. It doesn't have to be like this militant approach. So allow that to soften a bit. Okay. Yeah, it's like spirit saying like we know you're putting in that work. We know you are. So just kind of relax and let the feminine energy come out. Let the heart speak. Cuz trust that you're building a strong foundation. You're creating something beautiful. And also remember, like I tell people this a lot, like the energy you have creating something is the energy you're going to be expected to uphold, right? So me personally, I don't want to be militant about this. Okay? I'm going to work hard and I'm going to have discipline, of course, but I'm not going to like be intense with myself because I want a soft life. I can be an entrepreneur and have a soft life. You know what I'm saying? And I do think a lot of what we're doing now, especially like the younger generation and things, it's like, and even the older generation, like I think a lot of us are breaking the beliefs, the approaches that we all thought we had to follow. You know what I mean? Like it can be easy. It can be soft. It can be fun. My inner child can play and have a good time with this. It does not have to be so serious. Why so serious? One thing about me is I'm gonna quote something random if I say a word that makes me think of it. I feel like a lot of people are like that though. Okay, let's see more about the Death card and the Emperor. I want to know more about like shifting this masculine energy. Yeah. We have Temperance, the Seven of Cups here. Look at the ow. I got a flu shot today, so my arm hurts like a mug. Okay, so I love that the Fool card's at the bottom of the deck because the inner child is like, please just let me play. I just want to have a good time. I just want to have fun. Especially for those of you who maybe you didn't get to play a lot in your childhood. Maybe you had a lot of responsibility. Maybe you always had to walk on eggshells. So not only do you not really like know how the inner child fits into this part of your life, but maybe you never really got to tap into it fully. That makes me want to cry. Oh my God. Let your child play. Have fun. You know what I mean? And see, joy playing is a very integral part in manifestation. If you're not enjoying yourself, Spirit's not going to send you more of that energy that you want. Because they're like, you say you want this, but you seem miserable and I'm confused. I don't know why I'm petting myself almost like a cat. What's up with the cats? Maybe some of y'all got cats. Maybe some of you guys need a cat. Get a little kitten. I don't know. But let the child play. Because here's the deal with the Seven of Cups, I think that there is not full clarity on this path, right? You're not exactly sure, how am I going to get to that abundance? How am I going to get to that goal? You're not meant to know. You're not meant to fixate on what every single step along the way is going to look like. But what you're meant to do is to just start that path, just start working towards it. And then things will start falling into place. And then you'll realize, like, whenever you trust the universe, I always tell people it's like taking natural anxiety medicine. You're like, oh my God, thank God. You know, do a spell about it. Do some sort of spell to tap into your inner child, because that's what's needed right now. It's not about crunching numbers or making a game plan, but it's about just showing up in a playful, present way and trusting, right? You're going to get everything that you want. Your dreams are going to come true, but you have to like have fun with it and be okay with not knowing everything. Like, you literally have to approach it like a child. Like, children, most kids don't even know what's going to happen the next day, that afternoon, but they're having a grand old time. You need to like relieve some of the responsibility from yourself. I'm not saying don't show up or don't commit to this, but I want the energy, the approach to shift. And I want it to be more playful, more fun, more excited. Like, you should be excited about building something up, going towards a new goal, breaking a cycle. That is exciting. And you should fall in love with every aspect of that journey and not cut it short. Or like, there's something I want to say. I don't know what it is. Not cut it short. Don't miss the experience. You know what I mean? Because first and foremost, we are here to be an experiencer and observer. We are the universe having a human experience, because the universe said, what if I got to experience all this and I didn't know what was going to happen? And I didn't know, like, and understand all the rule, not rules, but like just the laws of the universe. What if I just got to experience it? And that's where we come in. So it's like, just relax. And I know it's easier said than done. Listen, preaching to the choir, I can be very like, too, but just relax, just chill. And maybe, do some work with the feminine energy, the masculine energy. Maybe you can do some sort of meditation or ritual or something to balance those energies. Maybe get like a pink candle and a blue candle and just do something to put in a balancing energy. Because with temperance here, that's exactly what needs to happen. There needs to be more harmony, more peace. This is moving with a level of acceptance, because you've already learned so much. And that's the thing. I don't think, and that's why you need to reflect on like everything you've accomplished so far, because there is so much awareness and so much wisdom in you. But I think when we get so focused on, okay, what else do I need to do? I still need to do this, then we don't give ourselves that credit. And then we get very clouded and confused. You know what I'm saying? So, where can you bring more balance? Where can you bring more acceptance? First of all, accept the fact that you are where you are right now. There's no rushing, there's no skipping. You have to accept that the phase you're at is the phase you're at. And then reflect on, okay, what are things that I've accomplished that I never thought I would accomplish? For me, it's like I've been interviewed by several magazines. I'm going to be a part of the Casey Mystic Fair this year. That's a really big thing for me. I have over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's really, really cool. I don't know. There's a lot more I could think of, but you just got to just take into stock, reflect, and then be okay. Just breathe, Like, I always think about like the version of me that started my YouTube channel like 6 years ago. And she never, oh my God, like if she walked up into this house, she'd be like, what? So you got to remember that. You got to remember that there's a version of you, even if that's like the baby version of you, the inner child version of you, that would have been like, bro, what? You're dope, right? Do it for that version of you, not the future. The future one's already there, waiting. So just have fun. All right, let's see about the Knight of Wands, Six of Wands, Three of Wands. I like it. We have the Ace of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. So this is cool. This is letting you know, like, yes, that passion, that ambition, that drive, it is going to manifest into a physical reality. Absolutely. But the Knight of Pentacles, slowest moving knight. Okay, he's not in a rush for nobody. Nobody. Okay. So just embrace the fact that you have to be patient, that you're building. Okay. And the Seven of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, they both talk about like planting seeds and waiting for them to harvest, right? The farmers are not rushing the crops, okay? No one's rushing the animals, right? And think about it, the industries that do pump their animals full of pesticides and like, I don't know how any of it works, hormones and things like that. Ain't nobody want that now. Everybody's looking for cage-free and organic stuff, you know? They take longer to make, but they're more expensive and they're better for you. So what do you want? Fast and cheap or slow, steady, and stable? You got to ask yourself, am I trying to run my stuff like a McDonald's or run my stuff like a nice steakhouse? That's what I would be checking in on. Because let me tell you, they're letting you know, yes, the opportunities are going to come. We are going to bless you. So just have fun. Got the Two of Cups, the King of Cups. Yeah, exactly. It's time to balance that masculine and feminine energy. Absolutely. I'm going to include a ritual or something in my newsletter about that. All right, tell me more about Temperance and Seven of Cups, and then we're going to move on to the Shadow deck after that. All right, we have the Ace of Wands and the King of Wands. Okay, yeah. See, it's just like, I feel like the masculine version of us is very like, I'm a leader, I'm ambitious, I'm an entrepreneur, I can take on any challenge. Hey, you absolutely can. But the challenge here is to have fun. That's what the wands are all about. The wands are about, let me have a good time. Let me see what's exciting me. Like, do what excites you, And especially like on my end, like for me, this represents like growing my business. There's parts of running a business that are not fun. Like right now, I'm focusing on trying to get my emails to stop going to spam. They're even going to spam to my own email. And I'm like, I sent this to myself. What's going on? And I'm not a tech person, but let me tell you, I'm figuring it out. And I did cry about it one day. It was hard. I was like, but when you allow yourself to take a step back and say, okay, I'm a student, I'm learning. If I learn this now, then whenever my email list is at 1,000 or 20,000, 100,000, a million, I won't have to worry about this. And if it comes up again, I'll know what to do. I'll know what to look for. So I'd rather have to figure this out now when I'm at like 175 than when I'm at 175,000. You know what I'm saying? So in the moment, it is really hard to take a step back and be like, okay, this is what this is teaching me. I can have fun being a student. But I just had to remind myself when I was just making meditations and affirmations for the first time, how kind of confusing it was to work with GarageBand and make like the frequency sounds I was trying to make. It was annoying. I'll be real. But the thing is, it doesn't have to be. That's what we're in charge of. That's what Spirit wants us to focus on. What is the energy you're putting into it? Are you annoyed or are you excited to learn? And hey, I'm not perfect. I just said I've been annoyed. I cried the other day about a learning lesson. But allow yourself to cry, allow yourself to let it out, and then keep going. The next day, I looked up some videos and I was like, okay, these are 5-minute videos. I'm doing it right. I'm good. Sometimes you just need a little bit of reassurance. You need to cry for a second, but then get back up on that horse and have fun and keep enjoying yourself. Okay? Yeah, it's like the masculine is fighting to keep control. You have to surrender the control. You have to let the divine work through you. And whenever you do that, then it flows way more naturally. You know what I mean? Like today, I went to the doctor and, I got my flu shot. I had, an appointment that I had to deal with. And Then they were like, you need to rest though. And I was like, rest? I have to work. And then I was like kind of fighting it. And then I was like, I don't feel good though. I need to rest. And so I took a nap. And then I woke up and I took a shower, got out of the shower, and I said, okay, we're back to it. And I'm allowing myself to just have fun, to just relax. You know, you don't have to be so hard on yourself. The world has that. The world will do that. Okay? Don't let you be a part of that too. All right? All right. I don't know why I say all right like that all the time. I'm always like, all right. Something is wrong with me. But I crack myself up, and that's all that matters. Okay, we're going to close it out with Wisdom of the Shadow card. I love this deck, and I'm going to read out of the book with this just so we fully understand what's going on. All right, Spirit, let's get a shadow card to help the collective. Please and thank you. And see, they want me to tell you, wait, it's not the right time yet. Do not rush. Do not rush. See, okay, I've never had a spray tan because I'm a black person. I mean, black people, other black people might get them. I just don't because I don't think I need one. But it's like when you leave the spray tan to, like, say you go swimming or say you go to the gym right after a spray tan and then you like sweat it off, melt it off, whatever. You got to wait for that to sit in. Obviously, I've never had a spray tan. I don't even know what I'm saying, but yeah. Some of you might resonate with that. I don't know. They wanted me to give that as an example. Ooh. Ooh, I like this. Authenticity. This is really cool. Yeah. There's a big part of you that is scared of rejection, that is scared of not being good enough, that is scared of looking weak or looking like you don't have it all together. Because look, this card says like, I am here, pick me, I'm fine, do not lie, I will never leave you, I love you, don't go. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Oh, it's the first card too. Very cool. All right, let's read it. Authenticity. And then I'm really noticing the AU. Some of you might be from Australia. If you are, that's really cool. Leave a comment down below. That's sick. Some of your name might start with an AU, like Aubrey, Audrey, maybe an A. I don't know. Maybe some of you are from Austin, Texas, maybe? Okay, so authenticity, the art is Mask of Shame. I really like that. I like the colors. All right. I stand in the fullest expression of my authentic truth. I will not sacrifice who I am to make others comfortable. Mm-hmm. And that includes yourself, right? If there's a part of you that's like, this is my truth, this is what I want to go towards, this is how I want to approach this, and there's another part of you that's like, yeah, but people that do that wouldn't approach it that way. Hey, those people aren't you. Approach it how you want to approach it. That's what you need to tell yourself. Okay, masks, hiding, shape-shifting, pretending, conforming, chaos, agreeing. Put on a smile, paint a good picture, don't be weird. Underneath hides fear, reassurance, insecurity, sadness. I'm fine. Everything is okay, but is it really? When we choose to sacrifice who we are to put on a face for others, we may likely feel betrayal. Not betrayal by others, the betrayal of ourselves. There are many reasons throughout life that we can put on a mask to hide what is really authentic within us. Vulnerability, fear, shame, guilt, rejection, uncertainty, not wanting to burden others, not wanting others to see us as weak or incapable. What are the reasons we have collected in opposition to that? Reasons to be authentic. Putting on false masks, personas, or shape-shifting ourselves to make others or ourselves, called it, more comfortable is a path that can make us spiral into a cycle of inauthenticity. If we walk inauthentically for long periods of time, we can forget what it is like to be unapologetically free within ourselves. Inauthenticity can cause us to fill our lives with connections that perpetuate the cycle of self-betrayal. People that we aren't ourselves around, relationships that aren't aligned, jobs that feel depleting rather than fulfilling, and patterns that cycle us farther away from living fully aligned and expressed. We must be willing to be fully authentic with ourselves in order to be fully authentic with others. Notice what parts of you feel the most edgy to accept and share, even within yourself. I like that. I like that. And this really is, like, to me, an opportunity to sit with the part of you that feels like you have to rush, that feels like you have to be in control, or that feels like not having clarity is a threat, because it's not. You know what I mean? Like, there's a part of you that's like, I know it's okay to not know. I know that the universe loves me, that the universe wants me to win, that I am the universe creating this whole thing for myself. So how can I lean into trust more? And what's the part of me that needs to be assessed and talked to get to that? Okay. So there's some contemplations and a ritual. So you guys can write these down and come back to it, or come back to the end of the video to, reflect on it. Okay, contemplations. What are all the masks I wear or have worn in this life? How have I sacrificed or changed myself because of others? Do I feel fully available to be my most authentic self? And the ritual. Free yourself within your own body by dancing a freeform movement that isn't for anyone other than you. What a fun activity. Put on a song you'd like to move to, turn up the volume, and let loose. Let your movements be wild, silly, playful, sensual, ugly, free, and weird. The more raw and unrefined, the better. For me personally, I love to sing, and I'm not the best singer, not the worst, but I'm not like nothing to write home about. So for me, like, that's what I like to do as a free form thing. And this can even be like painting, cooking something, dancing, whatever. Invite yourself to move in a way that would feel edgy to show others, whatever that is for you. Ooh, maybe you go to like a pole dancing class or something. That'd be cool. The intent is to break through internal barriers and let layers of yourself free. When complete, look into a mirror and speak, I love and accept myself in all ways. Sit for a few moments in stillness and notice what you feel. I love that. I love that. And see, the bottom of the deck, we have sensuality. Ooh, and then expectations. And then shame. Yeah, it's like, I think there's a part of you that is really holding on to certain expectations that other people put onto you. And the masculine version of you is really trying to live that out. But let that feminine, sensual energy come into play. Mother yourself, nurture yourself, support yourself in ways that you haven't. So that way you can free yourself from the weight of all of this, because it's coming to fruition. But you need to trust that and let it flow. Okay? All right. That is our reading. Thank you guys for watching. Again, if you would like more from me, I've got all my social media, my website, my email address, all down in the description box. So if you want to sign up for my newsletter or book a service or learn more about me, go to my website for that. And like I said earlier, I've been having some issues with that little spam. So if you sign up for the newsletter, I immediately send out like a guided meditation to just thank you and welcome you to the newsletter. So when you get that, add my newsletter stuff to your contacts, so that way you're not missing anything. Because I send out discounts, rituals, content, exclusive content that's just for the newsletter. You guys always get my offerings first, so check it out. But yeah, that's all I've got for you. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this reading with a friend. Help the channel grow. All right. Thank you so much. I love you. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.